Let me just share. Where have you gone? Okay. So what you can see here is the homepage for iDevelop. So for those of you who don't know, iDevelop is the learning platform that the CLD Standards Council manages and administers. Although I say we manage and administer it and we do put content on it, it's actually created so that group spaces are available for particular groups or organisations, and you can create your own content and add on to that as well, so we can make that the case that people have editing rights. So just for people getting started, if you haven't used iDevelop before, this is what you'll see when you go into iDevelop homepage. Our website, our page for Leading CLD will be a closed page, so you'll need to log in order to see the content on that page. So I've had a look through, and I think there are a few of you who don't have iDevelop accounts just now. So I'll be in touch with you to arrange access to those. I think there are also a few of you who are not Standards Council members. If you join the Standards Council, you will automatically get an iDevelop account page. So we can talk about the best way to do that for you. So assuming all of that is in place, oh, Heather, come in. Now,
yeah,
Heather, I've got a question for you.
I've got a question, yeah.
Yeah, my question for you is, no, my question was just to say, I've used your Gmail account to give you access.
Great. I'll that's what I've just tried to do just as I was coming on, because I get CLD Standards Council updates to that address, and as far as I know, I am a member, but when I've gone in to try and retrieve a password, it's not recognized that email. So if you can do something, that's amazing.
Okay, so let me just take a note of that. I'll just put reset password. I know, I don't think Gmail was a problem. I know in the past Hotmail could be a bit problematic with not accepting password reset emails and things, but I'm not aware that Gmail is, but we'll get that checked out. Oh, you're on mute, Heather.
Sorry. One possibility is that I've used a previous work email in the past.
Yeah. So it's your Gmail account that is registered on iDevelop.
Great. Okay. So you'll just do a password reset for me. That's amazing.
Yeah. Yep. Will do.
Thank
you.
No
worries. So when you get onto this page, then you'll see down here we've got the login details. So you would do your username and the password that you set once we've got you set up, and log in. Oh, don't mess me about. There we go. And we're in. It's obviously giving me its technical issues. So looks just the same, apart from up here now you can see that my name is there. It said guest previously. And I can have a look at my membership details. So you'll see there all of my membership details are in there. You'll see any forum posts that I've put in. So this is all related to you. Also in here in my CPD, we have my group spaces. So these are all group spaces that I'm a member of. You can also see a list of those here. The list is long, as you would expect, because I'm in and about lots of different things. So some of you might only have 2 or 3 things on this list. So I'll just go back home. The easiest way to find the Leading CLD programme would be to either look on your My Group Spaces list, and it should be pretty easy to spot there. If not, go into Search Group Spaces and just type Leading and go. And you'll see there are 4 results because we've done this for the last 2 years. And what we want to do is go to Leading CLD 2024. So that's where everything is. Now, you'll notice that these tabs are greyed out. That's because we don't want to give you any spoilers. So information is there, but we've hidden it for now. I will click on though, just so you can see what it's looking like. So on here, all of the different resources that we'll use during the session are listed. All you need to do is just click and it will open the resource that's linked on there. Go back. So everything's listed on there, and you can see session 2, session 3, session 4, and then we've also got a full resources and further reading list. So everything's on there. Once you've got your iDevelop account set up, then you will have access. For those of you who already have iDevelop accounts, I've added you into that group space. So you should see it from this morning on your drop-down list. If you don't have an iDevelop account yet, we'll get that sorted. For information about iDevelop, generally, it's a resource platform, lots of different resources about professional learning for CLD practitioners. You'll see we've got some useful links over here. First one being the Winter Learning Festival, which some of you might have participated in some of the sessions already. Different links to each of the sessions that are happening. And have happened since October last year, and you can register for those by just clicking the links. I'll just click on the CLD CPD networks. You'll probably be aware that we've got 5 different CPD networks across Scotland for CLD. Each of you would link into one of them because they cover the whole of the 32 local authority areas. So all of that is available there. That's the useful links. You can feel free to have a click in there. CLD conference materials and our latest news and updates. So our conference took place in November last year, and you can see information and resources from those in there. So that's just a bit of a tour of the home guide. For those of you who haven't registered with the Standards Council, this is where you would come to do that. You would click register here, register with the Standards Council, and down here then you can select what type of membership you would need and whether you need access to iDevelop as well if you don't already have an account. Some people historically have had an iDevelop account but weren't members, but usually the two would go hand in hand. So for those who aren't members, there are 2 different types of membership. Registered membership, which is for people who are practicing CLD in Scotland and have a CLD degree level qualification, and also associate membership, which is for people who are practicing CLD in Scotland but don't have that degree level qualification. So no different, there are different types of membership, but everyone receives the same access to member benefits. So it's not that it's a hierarchy of membership, it's the same access, same member benefits, but just recognising that some people are practising with a qualification, a degree level, and some people are not. So this is how you would do your registration. Excuse me. Let me just go home. In each of these 3 tabs, you'll see that there are drop downs under each of them. And if you just go in to any of these drop downs, they've got the same format. So they've all got a context. They've all got an in practice section, which is really about giving you some links to some resources that you would find useful in practice, and then some general resources. So this might be resources from other organisations that are still useful in a CLD context. So for example, you can see in here, this one is from the Chartered Institute of Personnel and Development. But in the in practice section, most of the resources will be specific to CLD practice. So each of those looks the same. Then in the themes section, you'll see it's different themed areas for CLD. So I'll go into the Learning for Sustainability one, and it just gives you a bit of background as to what that's about, why we've got CLD and sustainability, some practice information, some professional learning. So these are the kinds of spaces that if you've got a piece of work that you're doing that would be of use to people across the sector, you can get in touch with us and ask to have a group space created. The e-learning centre isn't quite up and, oh, it's not bad actually. Yeah, it just gives you resources for each of the competency areas, some resources that might be relevant for, I'm going to close all of that. Yeah, so there's each of the competencies, each of the 7 competencies. And if you click on one of them, the resources that are listed underneath are things that are particularly relevant to that competence area. So there's loads of stuff on here. For the Leading CLD course, we don't need you to know this inside out, but we thought it might be useful to do a broad overview of iDevelop just so that you're aware of the depth of information that's on there. In my CPD, there's a portfolio space. So if you want to create a CV or save documents, you know, it could be certificates for professional learning that you've done that you want to have in one space. You can share documents with others, then this is where you can do that. So you can use this as much or as little as you'd like. So you can see in the CV, different areas. If you've got electronic badges, you can populate them in there too. And then the My CPD forum is where you can ask for information or share information with colleagues from across Scotland, other people who are registered on iDevelop. And what would happen is you would post a topic, post your content. So I posted in December about learning for sustainability peer mentors. If you are registered and you've got the notification turned on, then you would receive an email to say Kirsty's posted in the forum. The title is Learning for Sustainability by Peer Mentors. You can then choose to click on that and go and find out more, or you can just delete the email if it's not something that you're particularly interested in. So all of those forum posts, there's the opportunity to respond. So if we look in digital literacy, Catherine's asked a question about SQA qualifications and Anne has responded. So it can be really helpful in that sense. You can only post a question or respond to a question if you're logged in. And if you're a member, obviously, then of iDevelop. If you're not logged in, so if I log out and go to the CPD forum, you can still see what's there, but you're not able to respond and you wouldn't be able to post. So part of the reason that we are using Slack as part of this programme is that this section of iDevelop is a bit slow. It's not particularly instant messagey. It's not like WhatsApp or even a text message. It takes usually about half an hour for an email to come through to people. So there's no kind of flow and momentum and spark to it. So for a few of our programs, we've used Slack, and I'll just go into the Slack space now. Slack's really a collaboration space. And if you have different, once you've got your Slack account, you can have different workspaces. So you'll see I've got 3 different workspaces on Slack. I've got my Standards Council member space. I was also involved with the Volunteering Action Plan work, and they had a Slack space. And I'm currently working with people who are doing the Educators Leading Practice training programme. So we've got a Slack space there. So if I launch Slack, it will take me to this page. So this is our Standards Council Slack workspace. So you can see it's fairly easy to use. It's got different channels with, so basically different topics. It's like a filing cabinet. Everyone would register when you join Slack. Everyone gets access to the general channel, so you'll see whatever's in there that people have posted. But you can then choose to join the other channels that are on there. So if you're particularly interested in CLD and Gaelic, you could choose to register to join that channel, and you'll get updates and be able to post in that channel. Or if you're particularly interested in equality, diversity and inclusion, you can join there. So I'll just go in there so you can see what's being said in there. Slack is also available as an app on your phone. So if you want to do it, then you can have it on your phone and you would get the alerts. So when someone posts, it is like receiving a WhatsApp message or a text message. It will ping on your phone if you choose to be alerted. It also will let you know if you've got it open on your desktop here that someone has posted something, so you can see things a bit more quickly than iDevelop would let you see. The other good thing about Slack is that you can post files or videos or sound clips. It isn't just about typing in an instant message. You can actually upload resources and things to it as well. So it's really helpful for that. So we might put some resources on there that you can see that might help aid discussion. So you can see here Vicky's added in a link to a curriculum and accessibility wakelet that we've got in there, and lots of links to different areas of websites. We're on the free version of Slack. So what it does is after 90 days, it will hide the messages that were there. So we'll only see the last 3 months worth of messages, which is why when I scroll up, you'll see this message here. The discussion that was being had in September is blurred out. That's because we've got the free programme. But for our Leading CLD programme, we're using it, as I say, for the Educators Leading Practice programme. Any resources that are posted in Slack, we'll make sure we put them onto iDevelop so that we can hold on to them. And that would be the same for anything that you guys post on there. We'll make sure it's copied over into iDevelop. So that will be our kind of resource bank for future, but for anything that's a bit more instant, and to give people the opportunity to have a chat out with the sessions, because the sessions, of course, don't happen very frequently. We only have 4, and people might want to chat out with those sessions. So Slack really is the place to do that. So I'll stop sharing now and just take any questions or comments.
Sorry, before you do that, I missed, I was following you along on my account and I was on the MyCPD, and then I missed how you went from iDevelop to Slack.
Okay, no, it's okay. I went to the Slack homepage. I came.
So it's a different web,
yes.
web address. And are you going to send us a link for that?
Yes, what I'll do for those of you who say that you want to join Slack, I will confirm the email that you want to use and send you an email with a link to join the group.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so you've all submitted emails, first primary and secondary emails in your applications. Will I go with the primary emails that you've put on there? Is that okay for everyone? Okay, I can do that. Any other questions or comments or clarifications?
Can I just come in quickly, Kirsty? I was just going to say, people might be like, oh, this seems really confusing. Why don't you just use Teams? Because we're all quite used to use Teams now. Some of you might have tried to use Teams to collaborate with people in different local authorities and different organisations, and actually it's not that easy. As I say, this is the third time running this programme. The first time was a pilot, and we tried lots of different things, and it wasn't a disaster, but we kind of came to the conclusion that once people have accounts for iDevelop and Slack, it's relatively straightforward for us then to make sure that we're sharing information. I should say as well, you know, after each session, I send out an email with the resources that we've covered that day, with the PowerPoint, with the slides from that day. So you usually have the stuff in your email as well. But we would encourage you to use the spaces just because there'll be some further reading, and especially on Slack, it's great if people want to get a bit of chat. You'll be put into what we call like home groups. We'll be doing a lot of work in breakout rooms, but you'll have a home group that you'll meet with at least once each session. And in the past, some people have got a lot from the networking in that group. So they've gone away and maybe set up a WhatsApp because they want to talk about something that they are doing in a different local authority. So that we're not stopping you doing any of that. That's great. If anything like that comes out of this, if Slack, if you're like, actually no, for that, that's not going to work. But it's what we've got basically, and we're making the most of what we've got. So hopefully you've not been too bamboozled by everything. It will all become clear. It's one of these things, you know, when you've got your login and you go in and play with it, you're like, all right, okay, actually that makes sense. So yeah, just a wee caveat there. But if anybody's, sorry, Kirsty, took away from that, if anyone's got any questions or thoughts, just shout.
For iDevelop, as you would see, there's loads and loads and loads of resources on there. Don't worry about that. What you need to know is that you can get onto the Leading CLD group space so that you can see what's on there, and then you can explore the other resources at your leisure. You know, you don't need to worry about accessing any of those. But I just wanted to give you a bit of a sketch of what the structure of iDevelop is and how to get into different things.
I'm just going to stop recording.